Hey neighbor, welcome back to ARTV. My name is John, and it's time for another episode of Ranked. A very important episode of Ranked, mind you, because it's not a discography ranking, and it's not even just a regular album worst to best ranking. This is one of the most iconic albums of all time, the dawning of grunge, something that is in the National Library of Congress because of its deemed cultural importance. I'm talking about Nirvana's Nevermind, released September 24th, 1991. I know people are gonna get mad at me no matter how I rank this album, so I might as well stop caring and just rank them however I feel. It's like a competition show where everybody's great, you're down to the strongest competitors, and it's really tough to pick them off one by one. But I'm doing it for the sake of the video to honor the anniversary, and also to remind myself since this album just turned 30, then that means I'm turning 30 in December. Well, I'm just gonna go have an existential crisis. One more thing before we get started, I'm not including Endless Nameless in my ranking because it was not on the original pressing of the album. It was later included on most pressings, but it wasn't an original song, so I'm only doing the standard 12. Please hit that like button, subscribe for the love of music, and share this out with a Nirvana fan, and let me know your own ranking of Nevermind in the comments down below. This is still a pretty great tune with some seething anger that slowly gets more and more out of control as Kurt Cobain becomes more volatile and just unhinged in many ways. I think that it's a fun song to listen to, but there's also a lot of talk about getting away, staying away on Nevermind, and I think we can do better. So this is the only one that I didn't really have trouble placing. Love myself better than you. Know it's wrong. What should I do? Okay, well I knew what number 12 was, so from here on out it's like pulling teeth. Let me start by saying that I think this song is underrated. On a Plane really showcased how influential Nirvana was, and still is in many ways when it comes to song structure, song techniques. I think that you could even look to a band like Green Day, who exploded in popularity just a few years after Nevermind, and if you look at On a Plane on a musical level and see the kind of valley effect, the highs and lows and the love myself better than you, break back down into it, Green Day were doing song structures like that all over Dookie. Come As You Are is one of Nirvana's most instantly recognizable singles, and it calls out the kind of fake plastic people who were walking around just being contradictions to themselves with everything that they say. That's how the song was written, with the lyrics kind of constantly going back and forth, and that's definitely a Kurt Cobain-ism. The washed out production along with the grungy undertones really makes this one shine. I love the bass groove here. It drives the entire song and keeps that momentum going forward. And I also love that intentionally sloppy, kind of messy sliding guitar solo that really puts this one on the map and over the moon. Drain You is one of Nirvana's favorite songs of their own, specifically Kurt Cobain. It's nice to see that all the members agreed on that, and Kurt wanted this to be kind of an over-the-top display of romantic passion and affection, kind of cheesy in a way, kind of tongue-in-cheek, but obviously they gave it a very grungy Nirvana twist. This features grinding waves of dilated guitars, hammering drums, and some bouncy vocals that feel a bit sunshiny, dare I say, but contrasted by the darker lyricism. Also, I have a lot of love for that midsection where they just kind of pause things. It's like the narrator gets lost inside the hallways of his own mind for a moment before they break back into it and really sell it with that final smashing hook. Something in the way. Here we have a gripping examination on a somber, string-filled tune that was definitely outside of Nirvana's regular wheelhouse, as Kurt talked about the fall of man, or maybe even the fall of star power, of celebrity status. Maybe it sounds a bit bizarre in the context of Nevermind, but then again, there's another slow song that we'll get to shortly that proves that Nirvana were thinking way past the idea of just grunge. Riotous punk was the sound that hooked the masses, but lying just underneath that was a message about indigenous peoples, about feminism, and Kurt Cobain was definitely somebody that embodied those ideas, pushed for them, and proved that he was far ahead of his time, at least being a male in the music industry. Real talk though, I just love how fucking explosive this track is. It really goes off like dynamite. It's so fast, so fun to listen to, and just to shout along with those lyrics by the end, it's like Kurt and the rest of the guys should just be smashing up their equipment, which they did on stage many times, but you can picture it so clearly in your head every time you listen. Halfway through our countdown at number 6, I have Lithium. Lithium, of course, is the name of a drug that is often used as an antidepressant, something for people who are maybe going through a manic state of mind. And I think that Kurt does such a fantastic job here at translating maybe not even his own mental state, but possibly, but that of somebody who is going through this up and down, where each line of the song is contradicting the next intentionally to kind of represent that mind frame. I have the utmost appreciation for the rhythm section on this track, just the plodding bass, every note is so crisp, the light drumming, and eventually really breaking into it. This is the type of song that made Nirvana the icons that they live on as now. As much as I love Nirvana showing off restraint, there's something to be said for crashing right through the gate, and that's exactly how Dave Grohl opens this track with his drums. It's one of the catchiest songs that Nirvana ever made, and thus In Bloom became one of their biggest hits. Everyone's dancing, everybody's singing along to a song that is essentially Kurt poking the bear and making fun of the Fairweather fans, along with some pointed political commentary. Kurt makes it clear once again that he is not a fan of the macho dude type of guy. He's always been a lot more in touch with his feminine side, and I appreciated that as a teenager that got into Nirvana in the mid-2000s and felt a bit more like an outcast in that sense, and I hated the jocks and the big macho guys myself. A song like In Bloom is very cathartic. Bless this diamond, this is getting more and more recognition through the years, as it should, so let's keep that ball rolling. It's Lounge Act at number 4. This is a song that continuously picks up momentum. I love how the guitars slowly get a bit more raucous from Kurt, and his vocals just really ignite. They feel so much angrier by the time everything is said and done. Rolling bass snaps this track right into place, and things get flat out loud by the end of the fireworks display. It shows them messing around with different tempos and styles, and it really makes me curious as to what Nirvana could have created in the future had they had the ability to keep going. Not only is this the opening song to Nevermind, this is essentially the most iconic grunge song of all time. The one that you could show to anyone and they would probably at least get that it's Nirvana. That, and it's also pretty much the walkout music for any 90s baby, the grunge babies like myself. This song has been misconstrued so many times, and to a degree that's not surprising because a lot of people are idiots, and this is coated in a thick layer of irony that's clearly making fun of idiot misogynistic micro-penis dudes in a frat house, yet they somehow took it and tried to make it their anthem. I don't know what it is, but I just cannot seem to get sick of this song. I don't care if it's been 100 times, 1,000 times, probably 1,001, but it just never gets old. Every beat, every lick, every vocal, it just all comes together for this perfect driving force, and I think there's a huge reason why this is still so relevant in our culture today. Oh, this is angsty as hell music right here. At number 2, I've placed Breed, a song that is furiously punk. It's like sloshing paint buckets all over a wall, and somehow it comes out to be this beautiful, messy, artistic punk vision that shouldn't work this well, yet here it is, it's art, it's on display. That's the Nirvana magic, the ability to be angsty, grungy, punky, and not really at all cheesy at the same time, going 0 to 100 real quick. Isn't me
seven seed, limit clip, dirty wings.
This is a brutal tune, but it is a defining tune for Nirvana. This is a band that some people looked at as one type of sound or one type of musician, and they were not that at all. Kurt Cobain was inspired by the tragic kidnapping and subsequent raping of a 14-year-old girl that was picked up by a man, taken back to his house, tortured, and then had that act placed upon her. Some really faint bass and light cymbal work accent, but never take away from the vivid storytelling. This is the type of song that saw them just breaking the mold. It holds your attention despite being very simple musically. You're hanging on to every word because it's morbid in many ways, but it's also a story that deserves justice. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of Ranked. This is the 30th anniversary of Nevermind, so happy birthday to an icon. I hope I did this justice in some way. This is just me trying to sit down, have a little bit of fun for an anniversary and rank the songs. Leave your ranking in the comment section down below, hit that like button, and I'll see you soon for more on ARTV.